talking about this kind of behind the scenes. Although the track has shifted west, all of Connecticut is still within the forecast cone. So it can basically go anywhere from Bridgeport all the way through Stonington. So that part hasn't changed for us. But what they are allowing for is a shift farther west, just in case it wants to head towards New Jersey. And that final track really does make a difference for us, because what side of the storm we end up on will determine who gets the worst wind, who gets the worst storm surge, and who gets the worst flooding rain, which we'll talk more about in just a moment. But this is the new update in from the National Hurricane Center, and the probability of tropical storm force winds is high. That is about 35 miles per hour sustained, which is, normally 35 is not so much if it's a gust. But when it's blowing consistently at 35, that's when you can see some problems. And the odds have dropped farther east where they were highest yesterday. So if the storm wanted to go right up through the center of Connecticut, that would put the worst flooding around and on the west side of the storm track, and the worst wind, the chance for an isolated tornado and storm surge, on the east side of the track. Let's say the track goes farther east, which tonight the National Hurricane Center is saying might be a little bit less likely. That would put the worst flooding in the state, but would spare Connecticut the worst winds. Now the track that we're seeing tonight would spare Connecticut the worst flooding, but bring the worst winds to basically all of Connecticut, along with the chance for an isolated tornado and storm surge, which would be pretty nasty. None of these solutions are anything that we are rooting for. I don't like any of them. Storm surge warning in effect for the entire shoreline, but it's really going to be the areas that are right along where the storm makes landfall and east, where it will be the biggest issue, with a 3 to 6 foot tidal surge. That means the water can come up 3 to 6 feet from where it normally is, and this will be aided by astronomical high tide, which will occur at 11:40. Tonight we're quiet, and tomorrow we're quiet, so you have all day tomorrow to kind of figure out what you want to do to prepare for this storm. And you should be preparing for long duration outages, unfortunately, because those are looking more and more likely. Heading into your Sunday, right out of the gate, it's breezy, and we'll continue to see the winds pick up as we head through the afternoon. I think the worst winds will take place between 7 a.m. and about 7 p.m. And we'll continue to see those rain bands move inland too. Initially just a few showers here and there in the morning, and then filling in with that very heavy rainfall as we head through the afternoon. And look at this. This does a really good job of showing that heavy rain on the western side of the storm track and less on the eastern side. This computer model in particular took the storm right up through, let's say, Old Saybrook or so and on north. After that, it looks like things want to taper off here. It's Sunday at 10 p.m. This computer model only goes out this far, but the storm actually just continues to stall, comes back through, and does a loop-de-loop to the northeast, which is why flooding is a concern, especially due to the fact that the ground is already saturated. Taking a look at winds, this is 9:30 in the morning, and we're already seeing gusts about 40 to 50 miles per hour. Right around where the storm makes landfall, and this example in particular showing right through central Connecticut, that's where we could see gusts up to hurricane force. Again, it all depends on where the track goes. If this storm decides to go far to the west, more of the state could see gusts like this. If it decides to go farther east, we might miss out on these gusts altogether, but we'll get the rain. Again, like I said, there's no real winning scenario here. But here we are at 4:30 on Sunday, still seeing gusts up to about 55, maybe even close to 60 miles per hour. But after 7, 8 o'clock, those winds start to come down. It's still windy. I don't want you to, write in at 9 o'clock and say, I thought the worst of the winds would be over, but they will be on the way down, at least from where they were earlier in the day. So I'm thinking the best chance for 50 to 65 mile per hour gusts will be in southern Connecticut along the shoreline and eastern areas. That's the way it looks to me right now. And where it is less likely, that will be farther areas north and west. That could change depending on the storm's track, but I wanted to try to estimate as best as I could for you based on the current information, and check back in again tomorrow. So the lingering scattered showers and storms on Monday. We'll still see wet weather, but not nearly as torrential as what we're expecting on Sunday. And then it's hot after the storm moves out, guys, for folks that don't have power and don't have AC.